Ever get tired of those AI recommendations that are like way off?
Yeah.
You're just like, come on, AI, you really don't get me, do you?
Haha. I know exactly what you mean.
It can be so frustrating. But hey, what if I told you there's some really cool research happening that could change all that?
Oh, now you've got my attention.
We're going to dive deep into a paper all about conversational recommender systems.
Conversational recommender systems.
Yeah, so think of it like systems that use dialogue, like actually chatting with you to figure out what you truly enjoy.
Okay, I'm starting to see where this is going. So, like, instead of just guessing based on my past clicks, these systems actually try to understand my tastes.
You got it. And
Yeah.
this paper takes it to a whole new level.
All right, lay it on me. What's the title of this game changer?
The paper is called, and get ready for this, a multi-agent conversational recommender system.
Multi-agent. Okay, now I'm really intrigued. What's the multi-agent part all about?
Well, you know how sometimes you wish you had like a whole team of experts helping you make a decision?
Ch-
It's kind of like that. Imagine a team of AI, each with their own specialty, all working together to find you the perfect recommendation.
So, like, one AI might be really good at figuring out what you like, and another one specializes in suggesting things based on that.
Exactly. And maybe another one is there to make sure the conversation is fun and engaging.
Huh, that's a pretty cool idea. So it's not just one AI trying to do it all, it's a whole team effort.
Right. And that actually addresses a big problem with a lot of the current conversational recommender systems.
What's that?
Well, a lot of them struggle to find that balance between having a natural conversation, like a real back and forth, and actually getting to a recommendation that really fits you.
Yeah, I've definitely run into that. You start chatting with a chatbot, and it's like, it's just going through the motions, asking generic questions.
It's like they're not really listening.
Exactly. So how does this multi-agent system avoid that?
That's where the magic of LLMs or large language models comes in.
LLMs, like the stuff behind ChatGPT.
You got it. LLMs are amazing at conversation, but they're not always the best at, staying focused on a goal, like actually getting you to a good recommendation.
Okay, so how do they fit into this multi-agent thing?
Each agent is powered by an LLM, but here's the key. They each have a specific role to play.
Ah, so that's how they stay focused, by having different LLMs specialize in different aspects of the conversation.
Exactly. It's like having one friend who's a great listener, another friend who always has the best recommendations, and another friend who's just there to keep things fun and light.
I like that analogy. But who's the leader of this AI squad? Who decides what to say when?
Well, in this system, there's something called a planner agent.
A planner agent.
Yeah, it's kind of like the director of the whole operation.
Hmm.
It looks at everything that's been said in the conversation, considers each agent's proposed response, and chooses the most appropriate one for that moment.
Wow, so it's like having a conductor making sure the whole orchestra is playing in sync.
Exactly. It's pretty amazing.
It's definitely more sophisticated than I imagined. So it's not just about asking questions and spitting out recommendations. It's about creating a truly engaging and personalized experience. But how does the system learn about my preferences? What I actually like and don't like.
Well, that's where things get really interesting. It's not just about what you say yes to. The system also analyzes why you might reject a suggestion. It actually tries to understand your no just as much as your yes.
Wait, hold on. It actually tries to understand why I say no to something.
You got it. It's called user feedback-aware reflection. It's constantly refining its understanding of you based on your reactions, not just your words.
Wow, that's pretty smart. So the more I interact with this system, the better it gets at knowing what I like.
Exactly. It's like having an AI that actually learns and remembers your preferences for next time.
Okay, I'm sold on the concept, but I need a real-world example. Does this paper give us any scenarios where this actually works?
Absolutely. There's a case study in the paper where this system successfully recommends the movie Erasure. That one from 1996.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, right, get to the chopper. Classic. Okay, so how does the system recommend that?
What's interesting is that the user never actually says they want to see an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. They just mention liking action films and having certain preferences when it comes to directors.
Okay, I'm listening.
The system picks up on those subtle clues and connects the dots, realizing that Eraser is a perfect match.
So it's like the AI is reading between the lines, picking up on those unspoken preferences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a huge advantage of this multi-agent approach. It can understand those complex preferences and adapt to individual users in a way that traditional systems just can't.
That's incredible. It seems like we're on the verge of having AI companions that truly understand us.
It's definitely a very exciting time for AI.
So what does this all mean for the future? Are we going to have AI helping us with every decision in our lives?
That's a great question, and one we'll definitely explore further.
I can't wait to hear more.
Well, get ready because we're just getting started.
All right, let's do it.
This is going to be fun.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Like, if AI can figure out our movie preferences, what else could it do?
No, right? My mind's like exploding with possibilities right now. What about like planning vacations?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Or picking the perfect book for you.
Or even helping us with those big career decisions?
Exactly. This research just opens up a whole world of possibilities for AI to be more helpful and intuitive.
But okay, hold on. I'm still a little fuzzy on like the nuts and bolts of how it all works. How do these AI agents actually, you know, talk to each other and make decisions?
Well, it is complex. But the cool thing is, all that complexity is happening behind the scenes. So for you, it just feels like a smooth, natural conversation.
Got it. But how do they stay on the same page? Like, how do they all know what's been said and what's going on?
Well, they each have access to what's called a shared memory. It basically keeps track of the entire conversation. So every response you give, every clue about what you like, it's all right there for them to see.
Oh, so they're all like reading from the same script.
Exactly. But then the question becomes, okay, who talks next? And that's where our friend, the planner agent, comes in. Remember him?
Yeah, the conductor.
Right. So it looks at what's been said, considers all the possible responses, and picks the one that makes the most sense at that moment.
So it's not just about which response is the best on its own. It's about choosing the response that keeps the conversation moving towards that perfect recommendation.
Right. Exactly. It's like thinking ahead, you know? What's going to get us closer to understanding what you really want?
That's pretty impressive. But is it all like pre-programmed or is there some actual, intelligence happening here?
That's a really good question, and one that researchers are still figuring out. But the interesting thing is, these systems are designed to learn and adapt over time. Remember we talked about that user feedback-aware reflection?
Yeah, the whole understanding your no thing.
Right. Well, it's not just happening at the individual agent level, it's also happening at the system level.
So it's like the entire system is like reflecting on itself,
Yeah,
trying to figure out what it did well and what it could do better.
exactly. And that constant learning is what makes these systems so cool. They're not static. They're always changing and getting better at understanding us and figuring out what we need.
It's almost like they're developing their own like conversational style based on the people they talk to.
And that raises some really interesting questions. Could these systems develop something close to a personality based on the users they interact with? Or could they become so good at knowing us that they can recommend stuff we never even knew we wanted?
Whoa, those are some deep questions.
Yeah, they really are. And they're questions that we're going to have to keep exploring as AI keeps getting more sophisticated.
It feels like we're at like a turning point. Like AI is going from being just a tool to being more like a companion.
I agree. And as we create these more advanced systems, it's super important to remember that we're not just building algorithms. We're actually shaping the future of how humans and AI are going to interact.
And that brings up a really crucial point. If AI is going to play such a big role in our lives, how do we make sure that it's used ethically and responsibly?
Ooh, that's a big one. Probably a topic for a whole other deep dive.
Definitely. But it's a conversation we absolutely need to have,
Yeah,
especially as we get deeper into this uncharted territory.
agreed.
Well, so far we've talked about how these multi-agent systems are like shaking things up in the world of conversational recommender systems. We've dug into how they make decisions, and we've even touched on some of the big philosophical questions about creating AI that can learn and adapt to our needs.
And it's all been so fascinating. That eraser example really shows the potential of these systems, but it's just a tiny glimpse of what might be possible.
Yeah, you said earlier that this research could have implications for AI in other areas of our lives. Like, where do you see the biggest potential?
Well, I think healthcare has huge potential. Imagine an AI team helping doctors diagnose and treat patients?
Instead of just one AI trying to do everything, we'd have like specialized agents, each bringing their own expertise to the table.
Exactly. You could have one agent like analyzing medical images, another one researching all the latest studies, and another one focused on communicating with the patient in a way that's clear and empathetic.
So it would be like having a whole team of specialists working together to make sure each patient gets the best possible care.
Yeah, and that kind of teamwork could really revolutionize healthcare.
And it's not hard to see how this could work in other fields, too.
Totally. Like, what about education? Imagine AI tutors that could adapt to each student's individual learning style.
That would be amazing. Students could have personalized learning experiences that really help them reach their full potential.
And it's not just about individual learning either. Imagine AI systems that could help groups of students learn together, make education more collaborative and engaging.
The possibilities really are endless. But just like with any powerful technology, we got to be careful.
Oh, absolutely. As these systems get more advanced, we need to make sure they're being used responsibly and ethically.
Can't forget about that part. But for now, I think it's okay to be excited, right? Like, imagine a future where AI helps us learn, grow, and connect in ways we never even thought possible.
I'm with you on that. It's definitely exciting to think about. It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it, right? We've gone from those basic AI systems to these super sophisticated ones that can learn and adapt, like almost like they're thinking for themselves.
It's like we're watching this whole new era of AI unfold right before our eyes.
And as we keep pushing the limits of what AI can do, it's important to remember that we're not just building tech, we're shaping the future.
It's true. The choices we make now will determine how AI fits into our lives, like as a society.
And with that comes a big responsibility.
For sure. We can't just get caught up in the excitement of it all and forget about the ethical side of things.
Exactly. We need to think about potential biases, make sure these systems are transparent and hold ourselves accountable for how they're used.
It's a complex conversation, for sure, but it's one we need to have.
Absolutely. The future of AI is really in our hands.
Well said. So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. We've explored how these multi-agent systems are changing the game for recommendations. We've delved into how they actually work, and we've even touched on some of the big ethical questions surrounding AI.
And we've barely scratched the surface. That eraser case study was a great example, but there's so much more to explore.
You mentioned earlier that this research could have implications for other areas, too. Like, where do you see the biggest impact happening?
Well, healthcare immediately comes to mind. Imagine AI teams assisting doctors with diagnoses and treatment plans.
So instead of one AI trying to do it all, we'd have specialized agents working together, each bringing their expertise to the table.
Precisely. One agent could be analyzing medical images, another one researching the latest studies, and another one focused on communicating with the patient, in a way that's both clear and empathetic.
That would be incredible. It's like having a whole team of specialists working together to ensure the patient gets the best possible care.
And that's just one example. Think about education. What if we had AI tutors that could tailor their teaching style to each student's unique needs?
Wow, that would revolutionize education. Students could have truly personalized learning experiences, helping them reach their full potential.
And it wouldn't just be about individual learning either. We could have AI systems that facilitate group learning, making education more collaborative and engaging.
It's amazing to think about all the possibilities. But we can't forget about the potential risks, right?
Of course not. As we develop these systems, we need to prioritize transparency, accountability, and responsible use.
We have a responsibility to make sure AI is used for good.
Absolutely. This has been a fantastic conversation. Thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure. And to our listeners, we encourage you to keep exploring this fascinating world of AI. Ask questions, stay informed, and engage in these important conversations because the future of AI is a future we create together.
Well said. Keep those minds curious, folks.
And keep diving deep.